Hello, this is Epichorrorfans, and I'm SexyDan21 Awesome, and I'm here today with JTISREBORN,
Hi,
and
everyone.
we've been off Google for quite some time, but we're back again, and we're reviewing Wolf Creek
Season
Season
1.
1.
And we're doing it through Google Hangouts. So this is like the perfect way now, because we used to do these things through Skype, and then, trying to do screen capture, recording all that. It was a nightmare. Skype is no longer as good as it used to be. And then we were just trying to fiddle this thing on. We were actually trying to set this review up for like an hour tonight, and it just became a mess after mess. And then we finally were just like, let's do Google Hangouts. And like, oh no, let's do private. So it's so exciting when you figure something out. So now this will be the future. It's better sound quality. We can switch back and forth between everyone. It's just the perfect situation. So, Danny, thank you for joining me tonight. We're back. We're going to finish what we started, and let the Epichorrorfans, people who probably thought we quit YouTube, know that we're back. So
That's right, we're back again.
We're back again, and now we have an easier setup, so we can do whatever the hell we want now.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so Wolf Creek Season 1. We've done a review of the entire series on here if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, we did the first movie and the second movie. First movie I wasn't too fond of. The second movie I remember like mostly for like the chase portion of it.
And now we're on to the TV series, which
Season
is
1.
In Australia they have a streaming service called Stan, and it's like their version of Netflix. And this is their top show because in Australia, Wolf Creek is like really famous because that's like their show. So, anyways, we just got done watching Wolf Creek Season 1, and we wanted to give our thoughts on it. I mean, what did you think of Wolf Creek Season 1?
As somebody who really only liked part of the second movie and was Season 1, I thought it was fine. I mean, it was well shot. I mean, it looked very nice. The main actress did a pretty good job.
And let's just say that Season 1 is only 6 episodes, so it's not very hard to watch this show. It's not like many shows where there's like 22 episodes and you get bored halfway through.
Yeah.
They keep it nice and short.
It's short, so I appreciated that because I was just like, I was hesitant to get into this thing. I'm like, I don't want to spend like $12 watching this whole series. But needless to say, I watched it. I'm here, and we're talking about this thing. Let's get into this thing.
Well, here's the first thing about Wolf Creek Season 1 I would like to point out. I like how they go for a different approach in this one between the two movies, because we've always seen how Mick Taylor, hunts his prey and his victims, but we've never seen someone actually hunt him. So that's very refreshing for the series. Let's talk about how the series starts out.
Okay, so episode 1, we have this family that's just there on vacation because their daughter Eve is trying to get over her, drug addiction problems. Their family takes her out to the outback, and they run into that piece of shit Mick Taylor. Now, I've gone on record saying I hate Mick Taylor, but like the guy does such a great job playing him that I want to spit on the screen every time he's on. He's the most unlikable villain ever. He disgusts me on every level. But that's the point. That's the point. Hang on.
Okay.
The guy does such a great job at playing him. I hate him so much. Like, I want to see him die as a character so badly. It's just frustrating watching him just sneak by so much. I'm literally just ready to, like, somebody get that motherfucker and finish him off once and for all. Like, because Mick Taylor is such a piece of shit. I mean, he rapes women, he murders children, he slaughters animals, he humiliates people, he's sick, he's twisted, he's just an alcoholic, he's an asshole to every person he sees. He's just the living definition of a sociopathic piece of shit. Now, I know this season goes into his backstory. I don't feel sorry for this guy because of the horrible things he's done. I mean, it's obviously had kind of a fucked up life. And
Yeah,
it's just
he's
he
really
does,
good.
but that still doesn't give him an excuse for what he did. Because I've seen people plenty of times where they've gone through terrible situations and come out to be great people. So I still don't feel sympathy for this guy, and he's just a piece of shit. But anyways, so we have our main character Eve, played by Lucy
Lucy
Fry.
Fry. Lucy Fry. She was in the Mako Mermaid.
Okay.
Very good actress, by the way, and she's also in that movie Bright. If you've seen that,
Yeah,
very good in
I
that.
watched that Netflix movie. It was all right. Bright
She's
was all right.
Yeah, and we also have the actor from Longmire in this. You know, Longmire. So he's an Australian actor. He's really good friends with the director of Wolf Creek, which is why he's in this. And before he did Longmire, he used to do movies with him. So that's why he got him to, do this TV show. Plus, he lives in Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love how the opening shot is. Let's talk about this. We have a daughter that's recovering from drugs.
And then you got her family. Her mom and dad are cops. Her brother's just, kind of a brother. Then Mick Taylor comes along.
Little brother.
Mick Taylor, he saves the kid. Then he goes.
The little brother is in the water on a floaty, and a crocodile tries to eat him.
Yeah, because if you're in the outback, I'm like, why the hell would you ever want to go out in the water right there? That's a terrible, terrible idea. Oh, yeah, let's go swimming right here.
And Longmire just kills the croc. It's hilarious. And then he's having a beer with him, and it's hilarious because he's having a beer with basically the actor that played Longmire, and he's talking about how he used to be a cop. Just so funny. And right away, what happens? Mick Taylor slits the guy's throat unexpectedly. Well, when you're like, my reaction was like, "Why? He gave you a beer. He was being nice to you."
This guy has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. He's
just a cold killer.
Yeah,
and once he gets his beer, he goes to it.
See,
and then,
I was gonna say, see, someone like Hannibal Lecter, he at least has a bit of class to him and a bit of charm to what he does. But Taylor has no charm.
Mick has some charm because he's hilarious, but at the same time, he's cruel. It's like his comedy comes out in the fact like he's the evil version of Crocodile Dundee.
There's like one or two moments I did laugh this season with him where he just he thought he killed Eve or whatever. There's just some Swedish companies. She's just screaming. He's like, "Oh, shut up, bitch."
Well, and okay, so let's talk about it. Her brother goes for his rifle because he was showing the rifle earlier, right? And what happens to his brother? Let's keep.
Oh, Mick kills him, shoots him.
Yeah. And then he goes for the daughter. Obviously, he wants to rape her. And then what happens?
Oh, he shoots her in the back, and then she miraculously survives. And then
well, it's possible people can survive gunshot wounds. And I wouldn't be surprised that one of his victims would survive, considering how many people he murdered. you know what I mean?
It's just like, oh, it must have been croc-faced or something. So then the piece of shit Mick Taylor walks away, burns the trailer, burns the bodies, and pisses on the ashes or whatever. And then Eve gets saved, and then she gets, there's this cop there.
Well, there's this transformation of Eve in the show. In the show, she's like a recovering drug addict. She's not very strong, but as the show progresses, her character gets stronger. And and then there's also this subplot with a biker gang, and she steals a bunch of money from them.
Yeah, so she can go out and finance herself to take on Mick Taylor. And she
That's
makes
right.
a few friends.
And she gets a dingo dog. Don't forget the dingo dog.
Oh yeah, the dingo dog was there.
And she discovers how to hunt, with the spear.
Because she befriended that one lady. I can't remember her name, but yeah, she goes off just kind of a cross country thing. Then she's also being followed by this police detective named Sullivan, and he has his stuff with his girlfriend.
And she steals all the files from him.
Yeah, she steals all the files from him because she's just.
So she gets all the information about Mick and his backstory. I mean, no, she doesn't really get information from his backstory, but we're explained in the show about his backstory about
Yeah, and Mick
how.
leaves something for her so she could find all of it. He's just like, no,
Well,
you
yeah,
know the story.
she figures out about all his victims and how he hunts them and stuff. I mean, she doesn't know that it's she knows what he looks like because he obviously tried to kill her, but
Yeah.
she gets all this information from stealing the files, which is really cool. And now she becomes the hunter, which is really cool. And then we also dive into Mick's backstory through flashbacks with Mick, and we find out that Mick was abused by his father, and his father was a really horrible person.
But then we
And
find out that Mick killed his sister, and that kind of set him off over the edge.
yeah, and
And he blamed it.
there's also he goes back to his father and lies and says it was a different person that killed his sister. And then his father ends up killing that person right in front of Mick. And that's why Mick is so traumatized and hates his parents so much, because his dad was so cruel to him. And then we have this whole thing where we find out that Mick actually killed his his dad, which is really, like, we find all these crazy things that we didn't know about Mick that we find out in this show that we've never found out in Wolf Creek 1 or 2. And it was pretty interesting going into his backstory and learning all these things about him. And so then we go back to Lucy Fry again, and she stole a bunch of money, and there's a biker guy after her. Keep going.
And then you have like this prisoner who kind of befriends her and saves her later on.
That's right. There's a prisoner that befriends her.
Who Aaron Ralston's his hand.
Yeah, that's right. He's an interesting character.
Yeah, because he was also like had issues with the biker gang, and like he wasn't like necessarily like a full blown bad guy because he didn't take advantage of her or anything like that. Because there was other biker members who tried doing that to her. Like, because Eve definitely struggles throughout the season. I think her character growth was pretty good because she started out, kind of just like what you kind of expect, like a
kind of like there's kind of like a Kill Bill thing going on in here. Like, she wants to get revenge on Mick for what he did to her family, killing her brother, her mom, and her dad. I mean, she really wants vengeance for what he did to her.
Yeah, and like we got to the final part now. Like I said, it's a well acted show. It's shot beautifully. I'm not very satisfied with the ending though. I think.
Well, let's talk about the really cool part where they fight each other and she throws the spear through him. That was pretty sweet.
That was cool, but I'm like, because of how they built up Mick Taylor as like this piece of shit, like I'm like, his death needs to be the most.
And she sets the house on fire, and he has a spear through him. And then the next day, she goes back to see if his body is there, and his body's not there. So I didn't realize it until I watched season 2,
which I haven't seen.
This ending was hinting at the fact that Mick Taylor is supernatural. Like, there's a little hint at the end of the season. And we are going to review season 2 pretty soon. And we both really enjoyed season 1. I mean, what would you rate season 1 out of 10?
The best I can give is like a 7.
7? I'm going to give it a 9. I felt like there was some parts in the show that kind of slowed down. Like they went a little bit too much with the subplots and like.
Yeah, like the focus, just like we get this biker gang, which she just kind of steals stuff from. That felt kind of added on. Like it wasn't like the stuff with the biker gang and
the stuff with her and Mick was the best.
Yeah, like, it should remain focused with her and Mick, because then like she kind of just like we pull in all these other people. Like the cop was fine in there, and then we have this biker gang stuff. And there's some dumb things I noticed too. I'm like, how the fuck does she escape the jail cell? I mean, like, come on now. Like, is that just piss poor Australian prisons? Because I know, like, here in the U.S., you wouldn't be escaping there.
Yeah.
It was just kind of ridiculous how she was able to escape there, and she just got away from this detective so many times, and he just was not catching on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man. And then, fucking Mick is just such a... God, I just want to just see him just get his comeuppance for once. They've done such a good job building him up as just the most unlikable killer. It just like just somebody get him. Somebody just get him already.
And we're going to review season 2 pretty soon. And my good friend Spider Jack Angel actually saw season 2, and he thought season 2 was better than season 1. So stay tuned for that, because
Yes,
we're gonna be discussing this pretty soon. But
yes.
I mean, you give it a 7, I give it a 9. I think Lucy Fry is a really powerful character, and I've heard rumors that she might be coming back for season 3 or Wolf Creek 3. I know that Wolf Creek 3, the movie, is in production, and season 3 is in production.
So they do season 3, and then end. I think what they should do is season 3. I haven't seen 2, and then end it once and for all with the movie, with Mick finally biting the dust once and for all.
You want a big finale in the movie?
I want a big finale because they built this guy up to be so unlikable. I've been watching him just terrorized for so long. It's time for this piece of shit to meet his match. Like, just imagine like fucking RoboCop if Clarence Boddicker had the last laugh. That wouldn't be satisfying. I mean, you want to see him like get his comeuppance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you haven't seen season 2, but let me just say you're gonna love season 2. Season 2 is fantastic. Yeah. But we're gonna get into that next time. But I'm giving this season a 9 out of 10, and you're giving this season a 7.
Yeah, sounds good. Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. And Wolf Creek season 2 review coming soon. Have a great night.
Peace.